What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about if we're going to get more Gotham Knights information on Batman Day. Talk about what I think we could see, if it's possible, the likelihood, and go from there. Really quickly, though, I do want to promote my second channel. You guys have always been, honestly, the best at supporting things that I ask you to support. So if you guys have not yet already subscribed to my second channel, Podcast Now Plus, would mean a lot to me if you did. The link for it's down below. Again, Podcast Now Plus is the channel name, and now let's get into this video. So I've seen this be asked of me to talk about this. I know that these videos generally do a lot better view-wise, so firstly I want to say hello and welcome, and I appreciate all of you guys for watching, but I also know these tend to get a lot of hate because I kind of just speculate. I sometimes get people a little too excited, so let's just make sure we're all keeping calm. Let's make sure that we're all aware of the situation and that even if this doesn't happen, it's okay. There's other things to talk about as well, which I will be talking about in future videos. But look, Batman Day, September 21st, so it's next Monday. It's only like 5 days away. Last year, on Batman Day, we got the Capture the Night stuff. Now, what's interesting, there's a couple things that are interesting. What's interesting, firstly, is Capture the Night with Batman Day of 2019 was literally, in my opinion, the kickoff of promoting this game, Gotham Knights. Now, people have forgotten about it, right? We've even talked about it, the whole idea of is Batman dead or alive, and the question of, well, why in God's name did you promote it on Batman Day? That's a thing to keep note of. Why did you market it with the slogan of Capture the Night, and then seemingly you forgot about it? In my opinion, they did not forget. They're hiding it, right? I honestly think they're trying to say, hopefully people don't remember that we did that stuff because we want to pull this little ruse that Batman's gone, but we're really going to bring him back and say, hey, for all of you guys who remembered Capture the Night, right? High five. And that's what I think they're trying to do. So that's important. It's important to note that. Now, this year is different. Look, I would normally say no, but probably last year I said yes. I don't remember what I said last year. You know, oftentimes when I make videos and I say, okay, could this be on this day? I try to give it both looks, try and say, okay, well, it could, what's the, again, the likelihood of it happening versus not happening. I do want to do that, so I'm going to look at both sides, but I am kind of leaning a little bit more at yes, and I'll explain why, and I'll explain what we could get, which will kind of put it all together. So here's some things that are important to note. One, this is the first year that we have a game set in this universe. Now, again, obviously we had the Arkham games. This isn't literally the first Batman Day that we've had a video game, but this is the first time in a long time, in several years. Last year, again, they took the opportunity. They were in cryo sleep, and then they came out, did the Capture the Night, and then left for a very, very long time until Redacted started, okay? So that was their plan last year. Now this year, Gotham Knights is literally a thing. It's real. You can pre-order it. It's got the rating. It's probably coming out somewhere in the January through March period. It's got all that stuff. So it's a very different landscape right now than it was last year. How do you not do something? That's kind of the first thing. Now, there's no evidence. That's literally just my opinion, your opinion saying, come on, how do you go past a historic day like this without saying anything, without doing something when you have a game out? You could argue that because Batman's not in the game or he's dead, that would maybe take some of the, the wind out of the sails of them talking or doing anything because, yes, it's an important day. Yes, Batman's in the game. He's the reason the Gotham Knights are a thing, like all that kind of stuff. But there's really no reason to do something. And remember, what you got to think about and what the topic of this video, the title, is info. Will they actually give us stuff on that day? That's where it gets a little murky because we have info. We have a lot of info, and remember what I said a few weeks ago, prepare for them to go silent. I think that's going to age rather well. Even, by the way, even if they do say something on Batman Day, I think it will be literally just a blimp on the radar. I think that after that, they will again go silent. And you look at it, the last 2 weeks, there's been absolutely nothing. This was the silence, literally, I had told you guys to watch out for. I do know my stuff. Contrary to some people's belief, I do know my stuff. But no, they really are going to go silent. And even next Monday, if they do something, something, I think it's going to still be met with a lot of silence afterwards. I think we're in that period where they're just not going to talk about it. Now, the thing you could say going along with that is, well, do they take that very seriously? Do they say, okay, this is that time where we're buckling down, we're shutting everything off, and we're focusing on this game? It's kind of the last little area of actually making the video game. Yes, it still could take 5, 6, it could take actually quite a while. I mean, it could take probably half a year at, in maybe as like an average amount of time. I mean, they still have a long way to go, but this definitely is a very crucial part of any game development cycle where they just say, you know what, we're not going to talk about it. We're going to, eventually we will. The lead up to the game, as it gets very close to it, then we will talk about it. You could say that. You could say, okay, well, Batman is not the main focus of this game. It's an important holiday. Maybe they'll do like a GIF on it, or, whatever you want to say. Maybe they'll do like a picture. Maybe they'll say, Happy Batman Day or whatever. They could do that. But in terms of giving us info, are they going to give us a trailer? Are they going to give us a villain? Are they going to give us just, again, a piece of info saying, hey, this is an important day, so we wanted to just say to you guys, we're going to drop a little bit of info on the game. Do I expect like a release date? Heavens no. Heavens no. That's not going to happen. I mean, if that does happen, call me wrong all you want. I'll call me wrong, because that will be an awesome thing to be wrong on that. But I really don't think we're getting a release date, so hopefully nobody thinks that. But again, you have your own expectations. You have your own hope. I'm not going to change that. That's completely up to you. The final thing, and the thing that does maybe it's kind of trivial, but it's not. It's a Monday. And Mondays, well, we know historically Mondays are job days at Warner Bros. Montreal, that they ask the kind folks at home that if you're interested in this job, you can work for us. So we know that. But no, in all reality, Mondays are news days. So a lot of times, especially in the gaming world, and over the last, I'd say, several months, like half a year-ish, Thursdays and Fridays are pretty darn big. Any day, really. Any weekday are big news days. But for the most part, Mondays, because they're coming right off the weekend, they're beginning to the work week. That's a good time. And then the end of the week, the Thursday, Friday. So you get out there before the weekend where you get your message out. People see it. It's stuck in their heads. People promote it. People talk about it. And you get it into the weekend, right, where you can support it for several days. That's why those are generally the biggest days. So Batman Day being a Monday, now they could have gone on Google or their own laptop or their phone and saw that September 21st is a Monday, but I feel like the fact that it is a Monday does help them, because it is a work day. It's a day that everybody does. Again, it's a day where news is more common. It's easier to push something out there and get it out there. It would, and another thing too is, again, it's Batman Day, and these guys made Arkham Origins. These guys are making Gotham Knights. Really, you look at Rocksteady even, they created the Arkham world. They're doing Suicide Squad. I would argue Batman Day means more to Warner Bros. Montreal than it does Rocksteady. So I would argue more eyes are on Warner Bros. Montreal on Monday than anybody. And honestly, anybody. I mean, yeah, maybe DC. Okay, DC Comics. Those are probably the biggest, traction that you could get. But Warner Bros. Montreal, I would say, is second. In terms of gaming-wise, it's absolutely first. I think they have the lion's share, basically, of eyes on them. I really do think it's possible. Again, I try to not lead people into this. I think about a year ago, when I was kind of just getting started, just getting into the hang of it, I was a whole lot more gullible. I was a whole lot more pushing for basically anything to happen. I think I've gotten a lot smarter. I think I've gotten more confident, too, in my own opinions over the last year. So I don't want to mislead people. I don't want to say, everybody get ready for Monday. I'm just, I do think it's something that we really could look at and say something could happen this day. Again, info-wise is difficult, because what do you show us? I know people, and including myself, a villain I think would be pretty easy. Gameplay now here's the thing, because we've talked about this, and I will probably talk about this in future videos. We don't know Nightwing and Red Hood. We've seen it a little bit in those trailers, but in terms of a deep dive like we got with Batgirl and Robin, that's something I think we'll eventually get. Is Monday the time for that? I don't know. That seems like kind of a big project to release out. Does that make sense? I feel like that's a little bit too big. Again, like a villain, could you do a short little teaser of a villain that's in this game? They could go side villains. They can make it, honestly, like they do their job postings. They can make it a series where once every 2 weeks, once a month, however often they want to do it, they could have a small little teaser that basically confirms a new villain's in the game. You don't need to show us gameplay. You don't need to show us what their story is, but you could just show us them and say, hey, we want to announce that this villain, maybe you say the voice actor, whatever, but this villain is going to be in the game. I think that's something that's small, but at the same time kind of large, okay? I don't know what people are expecting, though. I really don't. I'm keeping my expectations very low. Honestly, if you're asking me, I would say I'm not going into Monday. If nothing happens, it's okay. I'm not going to be checking. I'm on Twitter quite often, but I'm not going to be like refreshing it every single second, expecting to see Warner Bros. Montreal. Will I be disappointed? Not as much as I would have been like last year. Not as much as I have been on key dates that they've missed over the last year before announcing Gotham Knights. I won't be that disappointed. Maybe I will be a little bit, just because. I got to be honest, right? Because it's a big day, but at the same time, we are in the dark. We are in the silence period that I had said, and I do think that maybe they hold very, very tight to that. And if they do, again, no problems. There's a lot of positives. You've seen pre-orders are up. You can pre-order this game. That's a good sign, although that doesn't really mean all that much. Rating, the game has seemingly been rated. That is a good sign. So there are a lot of positives with this game that indicate that it could be coming very, very soon. Again, not in 2020, but very early 2021. And at the same time, there's also a lot of other stuff to talk about with this game. So, with that being said, we will have videos just like I have been Friday and Monday. We'll see if anything happens on Monday for Gotham Knights, and I'll report back to you guys. But we'll be talking about that, lots of different topics. Let me know in the comments below, guys. What do you think? Do you think we're going to get something on Batman Day? What do you think it would be? Will you be disappointed if we don't get something? Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed here on this YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all of these videos go up. And like I said, second channel, the link for that is in the description below as well. Podcast Now Plus is its name, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. I truly, truly appreciate it. I hope to see you all on the next video.